We all want to travel, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. If there's the top, let's talk about the top 3 travel locations
that we want to go to. For me, you mean places we haven't been yet?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Kinda.
One of my top, I don't necessarily know like 1, 2, and 3 like in order, but one of my top ones that like always comes to mind. And it's mostly just because of like how I've seen it presented in pictures and videos and movies and stuff like that is Iceland, because it's such a unique place. Now, I mean, there's plenty of places around the world that are unique. You don't got to go even out of the country necessarily.
That's on my list.
But Iceland is definitely one, like, volcanic black sand beaches, like, just all like the crazy waterfalls.
It doesn't make sense.
That it's Iceland.
Yeah.
It's just the name.
With a black sand beach.
And then I think Iceland is very like green, and Greenland is very icy.
Yeah, that was in like, I don't know the full accurate history. Someone will, I'm sure, say so, but it was like in the time period when people were like venturing out on boats and stuff like that and traveling and colonizing different places and things like that. It was a way to mislead people that were going to those areas. Like they would go to Iceland thinking, or they wouldn't go to Iceland because they thought it was ice. They'd go to Greenland and they would go there and it's ice or something like that. But Iceland, is definitely one because just the terrain and the landscape looks incredibly unique, and there's a bunch of really cool places to visit and see. Plus, you're a photographer. So. Yeah, that's a big thing for me. Is like, and I'm not the kind of person like, I'm not a landscape photographer. So sometimes I have an appreciation for things that are often photographed. I'm not a photographer. I can't talk about it. That are often photographed, but not because I want to go take the picture too. Or something like that, but I want to like see that thing that was photographed.
Isn't that where they have the Northern Lights? Is that what it's called?
Northern Lights. Well, I mean, the Northern Lights are in a lot of places. You can be seen from a lot of places. Like we saw them in Alaska.
Okay.
I think you can see them in Iceland. There's another place. There's some other northern places where you can see them. But yeah, that's one. I'd also like, and it's mostly because I see them in other places, like those really like rocky islands that are like off the coast of like Ireland and Scotland, like that whole area just seems really cool. And I've never been to the Southwest before, like the desert.
Okay.
So maybe like Arizona. I mean, I've been to like Texas and Oklahoma, but it's not close enough to really, Yo,
Texas has some really good food.
It does.
Oh, bro, the Mexican restaurants down there.
I thought you were about to say the Mexican rats. And I was like, wait, what?
We went
Delicious rats.
We went to this restaurant in Texas. There's 3 items on the menu. I can't remember what they were. That's it. You have 3 things to pick from, and you can only pay cash. Just based off that, I already knew. Legit. Yeah. I walked in, 3 items. You got to pay for. And they had the ATM in the. I was like, oh, this jump out the hit. Probably the best Mexican food that I've ever had.
When we traveled to San Antonio for the Church of God Teen Talent, like the international competition or whatever, one year it was in San Antonio, and we went to like a few Mexican restaurants that were in the more like tourist areas. But one time we went to a restaurant and I'll never forget it. It was a house that was partially converted into a restaurant. Like when you walked into the front of the house, like through the front door, I guess it was maybe what used to be the living room, or like maybe a couple rooms that they like knocked the doors down or the walls down. And it was just like, it was this carpeted room with a few tables in there, like 4 or 5 tables. And then there was like another doorway that went into the rest of the building. I don't know if part of it was lived in anymore, but it was called like the Oasis or something like that. And it was the best Mexican food that I've had, and the best that was in Texas.
Fuck, man, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So did you wait? So you said Iceland. What was the other 2?
Arizona.
Like, yeah,
or the
Southwest. Like I like to go to like Arches National Park and see things like that. But the other one was like those like the Scottish and Irish islands, things like that.
Okay.
Places that in the area.
So Iceland is on my list for sure. And I think for the same reason, some of the same reasons you said, they have like
Just
like
visuals.
some of the craziest visuals, like the sights out there. I've always wanted to see it. Like that, the pictures you always see of like the abandoned plane. Like I want to go there. I want to go to all those places. So Iceland's on my list. Plus my wife wants to go to. Japan is on my list. I love sushi and
Phil's been to Japan and he must have been a fan because he has an approving look on his face.
I want to go so bad. I've wanted to go for a while.
First of all, I don't care about the food.
It's messed up.
I think that's the trick with me. So just the whole food thing. I'm not really adventurous when it comes to food. I like what I know.
How can you not be adventurous
with food? Why? Because I'm fat?
No. I just feel like people who like come from another culture and assimilate to like life in America, I would imagine that those people would tend to be a little bit more open to other types of food because.
What do you mean by those people?
I'll see myself out. I should have never brought it up. I just feel like people like, anybody who is born in another country and then comes to America. So obviously now there's like cultural groups that settle in certain areas and they probably don't ever really assimilate to like a lifestyle that's more Americanized.
Right.
But I feel like people who do, this is just my imagination. I would imagine that those people would be more open to try other things.
I like what I know, and I know what I like.
It's fair.
My old roommate's like that.
I like what I know, and I know what I like, bro. I'm
opposite.
the dude that go to the restaurant, and I'm just gonna get what I know. I'm not gonna be like, that sounds good. I'm gonna get that. Nah, dog. Let me get the chicken wings. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I go to Chick-fil-A, I get the same thing. I go to Subway, I get the same. I get the same thing from Subway, bro. I'm getting the same thing. First of all, I don't even like cold cut sandwiches. All right, so let me get that roasted chicken breast with bacon.
Ooh,
that's it. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why I ate that is because my sister got it one day, and I was just like, "Yo, let me try that."
So wait, what'd you eat in Japan?
Whatever my sister made.
McDonald's.
You didn't eat out?
Bro, yo, the first night we got there, my sister was like, I'm sorry I didn't cook.
You were like,
so we got to go to McDonald's. I was safe, though, because it's the McDonald's on base. So I was like,
so it's not even really a Japanese
Nah,
McDonald's.
It's not even a Japanese McDonald's. I was like, all right, cool, whatever.
Man, I feel bad, bro.
I don't feel bad.
I just like, there's so much like.
Well, all right, so we went on like this hike. We went on this tour. It was like a 4-hour drive on a bus. We're like up in the mountains, right? And we hiked for like 6 or 7 miles. And while we were hiking,
was that me? Who was that?
That was me.
Oh, I'm hungry too, so I didn't know if I did it.
While we were hiking, they like stopped at this restaurant. Like, my wife and my sister was going crazy over this food, bro, because they're like, yo, this is like bomb, yo. Let me just get some water, bro.
What was it?
Good. They were just, it wasn't nothing like crazy. Like, they had sushi. My wife is like a big sushi fan.
Yeah.
So she's like all about the sushi, and she was like raving about that junk. They had like some like stewed pork or something like that. Like, apparently it was like amazing. It looked good. It was presented very well. Which presentation of food is very important to me, and also like the smell of it is very important. But I'm just, you know what, bro? I'm just cool. I'm all right. I'm content with just sticking to what I know. And I didn't really care for like trying anything. What
You just
I like
got water?
I think I probably got like some rice or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
The safest food on the menu.
like just basic. But I think the culture, the Japanese culture, like just the culture, like how they are, like they care about the land. Like, for you to be in that country, like you just see people like just picking up trash because they care about what it looks like. The sanitation of just public areas, bro. There's public bathrooms that are like crazy. The sanitation was just like crazy. It was like mind blowing. The way how they the way how they care about each other, in a sense of we got on the public transportation a lot, so we got on the train. And we would have book bags, and they'll tell you like, "Hey, put your book bag in front of you." And for the first like trip, I was just like, "Why?" Because if your book bag's on your back,
People still.
no, you're taking up space that someone could get closer to you. Because they cram the train pulls up, and it's like,
I've
a
seen
sea of
videos.
people, and I'm just like, whoa. Because I had the kids with me too. It was like rush hour hits, and people were like running through the train station. And I was like, whoa. It was like crazy. It's just things that they think is inconsiderate. Like, people kept on looking at me with my double stroller because they felt like I was being inconsiderate because my stroller was taking up space that maybe 3 or 4 people could be standing. Like, that's the way how they think.
Wow.
And I was just like, yo, that's crazy. So, like, they care, they're maximizing space, about efficiency, their sanitation. Like, it was just like, yo, this is crazy. Like, it's just it was just different. You know what I'm saying? It's really different. So it was definitely a cool experience.
Yeah, I definitely, that's been on my list for a long time. Japan and South Korea are the two, I guess, Asian countries that I want to go to. And so the third one is Australia.
Yeah.
I want to go to Australia because it's one of those places where I don't meet a lot of people who have went there, for vacation. I've met people who have went on business and things like that, but I haven't met a whole lot of people who go there for vacation. So I'm very adventurous when it comes to traveling. So because I don't hear a lot about, let me tell you about my trip to Australia, I want to go and experience it for myself.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And it's super expensive. So it's like a bucket list place for me. So I think those are the top 3 places that kind of constantly come into my mind where to go. My wife likes places with beaches. So she likes to go to tropical places. And I'm like, I've already been there. I want to go somewhere else. So
Right.
yeah.
It seems like a lot. I mean, I haven't been to any tropical beaches, but I would just imagine that kind of once you've been to one really nice one, it's probably what the other ones would be like.
No, let me tell you. I used to think that until I went to Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos they say it's the best beach in the world. And I definitely see a difference. You go to Turks and Caicos, bro.
You never want to go to Virginia Beach ever again.
Oh my gosh.
Like, get this river
Yeah, well,
water
that
out
one
of
isn't
here.
even on my thought list for that.
Oh my god. It's when you go to like anywhere like the Bahamas or like Turks and Caicos or any place like that and you go to Virginia Beach, you're like,
This is trash.
Well, that's what
should I even touch the water?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
This is
saying. Like,
the
so, like,
beach.
I'm imagining that going to one of those tropical locations is similar than going to another one, like Bahamas or Turks and Caicos. Like, once you've been to one, how much different could the other one be?
It doesn't come down like you can say, okay, yeah, there's water and there's sand. Like, yeah, of course there's that. But the
cultural experiences,
the cultural and the vibe of like the places are different.
Yeah.
Yo, Turks and Caicos was so like relaxing. Like when I go to the Bahamas, bro, it's almost like going to Florida. Everybody's at the Bahama beach. Like everybody's going to the Bahamas. Everybody's on a cruise. Everybody
It's
like,
close.
Right. It's close. It's cheap. So you go to
US
Turks and
currency.
Caicos, bro. There's still a lot of people there, but there's like, it's different. That's all I know how to explain it. And the food was amazing. Expensive.
Yep.
But amazing. Because like every meal that we sat down to eat, I think like we paid almost $100 for every meal. And I think it's because they're importing a lot of stuff. And it's not just coming from the island. Yeah. So
makes sense.
It was super. I think the cheapest meal that we had was like we found this place to eat lunch at, and it was like $50, $60, that's pretty normal. But everywhere else, it was like $100 because that's where we went for our
baby
honeymoon.
Cooking? You trying to cook,
bro? The first meal we had, I was like, okay, this is gonna be because we tried some conch. So we had like the fritters and it was like this thing that they came in like 4 different ways that they were prepared. And it was so good. So after that, we were just getting like everything, any and everything. I didn't get chicken tenders.
That's why it cost so much money, because you were getting everything.
It was, but yeah, she likes the beaches. And I'm just like, I always just want to go somewhere that I've never been ever. That's why when Jeremy got me to go to Haiti with him, bro, that was a scary experience. But like once we got there and things calmed down and we were like, cool, bro, Haiti is actually a beautiful country.
Definitely.
Like despite the destruction, dog. So like we went up into the mountains and I was like, oh, this is amazing. So I love traveling. I went to Spain and I wanted to stay. Wow. I asked my mom in high school if I could live with because at the time my aunt and uncle were on base. My uncle was in the military. And I asked her, I was like, can I just live with them so I can be in Spain? And she said, no.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your 3?
I definitely want to go to Africa.
See, that's
a particular area in Africa?
I want to, probably because this area has like a lot of Ghanaian people. You hear a lot about Ghana. I'd be curious to go to Ghana, but I really want to go to South Africa.
That's dope.
South Africa is like my favorite accent.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's like South Africa and Australia, and South Africa wins.
Yeah.
I'll take a Southern accent. Like a sweet Southern accent.
Like Georgia?
I don't care where you from, dog.
Like an American Southern
accent. An American. Oh, man. That joint gets me, dog. I'm like, wild. All right, shut up. Stop talking to me, man. But I definitely want to go to Africa. Okay. Somewhere in Africa. I don't even care where, dog. Ivory Coast. I don't care. Egypt.
Egypt would be cool.
Ethiopia.
Oh, that would be cool.
Africa. I want to go to Africa. And then Bora Bora.
Oh, okay.
I don't know much about it.
Pacific Island. Just to see what it's like. It's super hype. Like, you know, there's a lot of hype around it. I like those little ocean cots that they have like out in the ocean.
Oh, I want one of those.
Right? I wouldn't mind just like chilling on those, but knowing my son David, he'll probably like jump into the water because that dude is like super adventurous.
They look expensive.
It just looks so expensive.
Oh, you're talking about these things?
Yeah.
And, you know, I used to watch a lot of vloggers, and like people would go to Bora Bora and vlog. And it always seems like in everyone's vlog, it's another one of those places where it's not overcrowded.
Right. It's probably because it's so expensive.
Right.
Ain't nobody going out there.
That's a good one. Bora Bora is a good, especially like those.
Yeah.
Bungalow.
Yeah.
Bungalow.
Whatever you want to call it.
That's how they say it in South Africa.
I like it.
Where else do I want to go?
I want to go like to the Mediterranean too, like Italy, Greece.
See, the food gets me with those places. So I'm not really like interested in that. I do have the opportunity to go here, and I probably will soon, but I definitely want to go to Dubai.
Yes.
And I'm not necessarily big on the food, but I have family there, so
I don't know anything about.
I'm good on that.
I want to go.
But
I know nothing about the food, and I want.
I'm very like interested about like all this man-made stuff because they are making a lot of stuff like the Palm Island or the Whirl Island that they're like dumping the ocean and making like these man-made like islands, bro.
I didn't know that.
Bro, they're doing like some crazy stuff. So I definitely want to go to the UAE, either, you know, Dubai or Abu Dhabi or like whatever that is. Like,
what do they eat out there? Are they eating like, is that like kebab and like the rice and the I don't know what they eat.
Phil just made the face at you that he makes to me when I make like comments about races and cultures.
But I'm just guessing.
It felt good not to be the person on the receiving end for a moment.
Hold on, man.
I know it's a Muslim nation, man, but they're very wealthy, so
it's what's like I would like to see. You're talking about like the man-made things, like also their buildings and stuff,
like tall skyscrapers,
like just crazy crazy architecture, like super tall buildings. Like you see those pictures of like Burj Khalifa, where like the building is like above the clouds.
Yeah,
just mind blowing. Like I can't imagine what it would look like to be inside of that, looking out.
That's crazy,
terrifying, probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know it's a pretty rich country.
Yeah, see, they got kebab.
Sure. With rice and stuff.
Simplify it. All right.
Yeah, they have like falafel, kebab. I've never had falafel, but I always hear about it.
I don't even know what that joint is.
I don't either, but I always hear about it, and it sounds.
I'm not sure what it is either, but I've had it before.
When someone says falafel, I always think about like waffle mixed with something. I don't know why, just because of the sound.
The awful.
But I'm very, like, when it comes to like food in different countries, I'm really adventurous.
Oh yeah, me too.
Even if you're like, yeah, we went to the jungle and pulled this marsupial out and fried it up. You want to try it? Yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah,
man, I'm brave hard, bro.
Like, I'm so adventurous that like I destroyed myself that day in Brazil, eating that hot pepper and stuff.
Oh yeah,
bro, brave heart.
I think for me, it's an important element because I think like when I go to a place, and this is something we probably would all agree on, we want to just not be in that place. We want to experience some of the culture or observe some of the culture, and food is such an important part of culture.
True.
So to me, like, I really only feel like I've visited a place when I've experienced all that I can, and food is a big part of that.
Just an excuse for you to eat.
I'm not eating.
I'm just trying to be cultural.
You just said that, and all I saw was Jaden, bro. Straight face. It's just an excuse for you to eat.
when we were in Brazil, I don't know, didn't they put like chicken hearts on our plate? They put a chicken heart on the plate, I remember, and I ate it. And look, sometimes when they put things like that on the plate, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Chicken hearts.
And I'm like, I'm not even gonna think about it, just eat it. I don't know if that's like a crazy thing, but I've never had it or heard of it.
I actually, the first time I had chicken heart was in a Brazilian steakhouse restaurant in Chattanooga.
Okay.
It's one of those places where they like, I think the waiters that they have, they call them gauchos, I believe. Mm-hmm. And they just walk around with meat on like these big sticks.
Yeah.
And they slice it off for you. Yeah. And I mean, that's like, for me, that's like right up there with, in terms of like, I'll use this term loosely, but cultural type restaurants in America. Like we always talk about like Iron Age and
Taco Bell.
We always talk about like Korean barbecue restaurants.
Oh yeah.
Like specifically, we talk a lot about Iron Age and how we like, to go there and just eat a bunch of meat. But that,
I was gonna say something earlier, and I was like, nah.
But no, it's like that. It's like that kind of place. Like they give you this little. Well, at least at that restaurant, it varies when you go to different ones. There's actually some Brazilian steakhouses around here, but they give you this this like wood block. One side of it's green, one side of it's red, and if you like want them to keep coming to your table with different things, you put it where it's green up, and if you want to like pause for a minute, you lay it down, and then like you put it red up. I think when you want to pause, and then you like lay it down when you're done.
Let me ask you this. What's the weirdest thing that you've ever eaten? Like something like off the wall? For me, I was just thinking about it while you were talking. I've had kangaroo.
I've had some of those. I've had some like jerky that's been apparently like weird meats like that, like kangaroo and ostrich, but I never count that because it just tastes like jerky.
Oh, okay.
Because that junk could just be like regular beef.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah,
with some ostrich juice.
Kangaroo.
Yeah. They no, but the thing that
why you say kangaroo like that? I just thought about that. Is that what they sound?
That's
like?
how you convince them that it's really kangaroo, by saying it like that. Kangaroo. I imagine that's the sound that the kangaroo makes when it jumps up high and then comes back down.
I like you made the sound, and then like my brain started working because I was like, wait, I don't know what sound a kangaroo makes. Is that it?
They say their own name, like,
do they howl?
Like Pokemon.
Yo, that joke got me. I was like, what?
Oh man.
Yeah, but I had like it wasn't like jerky or anything. There was kangaroo on the
Where
menu.
did you have it?
It was like a steak. It was in the States. Where was it? I think it was in like Minnesota or something like that, which was weird. It was expensive, so I'm assuming they got it from Australia.
They got you.
They got a kangaroo farm out back.
They just gave me like regular cow.
Some liver.
And so it's like that episode of The Office when Dwight's like, he's like, I can get you exotic meats, hippo steaks, giraffe burgers. And then he's like, all right, we'll talk. And then it cuts back to me. He's like, it'll all be goat.
I think like that sometimes though. Like I'll be watching like the Animal Planet or something, and like it'll be like, I don't know, like a lion or something eating something, and I'm like, I wonder what that joint tastes like. I eat it. You cook it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
The weird thing that came to mind, and this isn't a weird thing, is I had shrimp one time at a Chinese buffet in, I think it was in Chattanooga. And it was the first time I ever had a shrimp with the head still on it.
I can't do it.
And I ate it and immediately regretted it. Like just when I started chewing on it.
Why? Because you saw the eyes looking at you?
No. Like the texture of it in my mouth when I started to chew on it.
You ate
I
it.
tried it because I'm like if it comes to food, like I can't think of a reason why I wouldn't try something.
Right.
Basically. So in this case, like this is how they prepared it. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to try it. And I hated it.
I can't eat anything with eyes.
For real?
If you give me food, I do not want to see the face.
For real?
At all.
Like sardines.
Nah. Nope.
I eat those every now and then. It still grosses me out, but I still eat them.
Like my mom would make like a snapper, like a red snapper fish, and
I've taken pictures of that.
that don't even have like the head on.
I cut it off.
I'll cut it off.
I don't want it. I don't want the animal to like be looking at me as though I'm absorbing its soul as I'm devouring it. So I don't want that.
Absorbing its soul. How do you?
I know. My goodness.
It's a very
spiritual
process. Don't make eye contact with me while I'm trying to consume you.
I'm saying I don't care. I don't eat fish anyway, so
you don't eat fish?
Nah, bro.
Not even your mom's?
I don't care who make that.
But you had fish before.
I feel like I'm learning so much about you today, Phil.
Yeah. I think the only time I had fish and thought to myself, like, yo, this joint is all right, is, and I think this is why, I don't know what I'm about to say. But, what was the question?
Why?
Fish.
Yeah,
fish. I don't like fish.
Yeah.
No, I don't like fish. I just don't like the texture of.
It sounds like you were about to tell a story about one time when you ate fish.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So Jeremy's dad made fish one day,
like
but
fresh caught or something.
it was fresh. It was fresh water fish,
Okay.
and typically the fish that I've eaten was saltwater fish.
I don't know what I've had. Probably saltwater.
You probably have had both.
Yeah.
If you don't have any, like, if you're just like, I'm not going to eat that, then you probably have had both.
It's like, it's like really fishy. I think what I'm starting to notice is that I don't like the smell of it. And obviously the smell entices your taste. And it's the smell of the saltwater fish that I really don't like. I don't care who's making it. But that one time Jeremy's dad made like some freshwater fish. I don't know. He like fried it. And I thought it was going to be like all the other fish that I've had, the tilapias and all that stuff. And I was just like, oh, this joint is all right.
Okay.
That joint was all right. You know what I'm saying? My mom thinks that I don't like fish because of the bones in it. She's like, yeah, he's just afraid of the bones. I just don't like the texture of it.
Moms make stuff up like that.
Yeah, he's just scared of the bones. That's what she told me. Yeah, he don't like fish because he's scared of the bones. And I'm like, no, I just don't really like it. I want to like it. I went through this time where I was like, yeah, I'm just going to start eating healthier. I'm going to cut out like chicken and meat. So I'm just going to have like fish.
You did salmon or something?
So I had my mom. I was like, yo, just make me like a bunch of salmon. Hated that junk.
Really?
I love salmon.
I feel like I cook a mean salmon, by the way.
I think y'all lying.
Like I put like...
We won't let you be the judge.
I mix like butter, Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, and then I put something else in it. And I like make like this like paste because of the butter.
Oh, true.
And then I like put it all over the fish, put it in the oven, let it cook. I usually spray the foil, or I put like asparagus or something under the skin so it doesn't
stick to it. All right.
Let that junk cook. Bro, skin is like nice and like crunchy. Not too crunchy, but like, and then it goes right with the, oh, it's so good.
Like I hate when I watch people prepare salmon and they take the skin off.
Oh, no.
It bothers me so much.
That's the best part of that junk.
Yeah.
It's like the skin and the little bit of fat that's in between it. Like, and that's the healthiest part too, is like in that fat right there is like all the omega-3. Like, so when you take the skin off, you're pretty much, I mean, it's still good for you, but you're taking off like the best part for you.
You can keep that.
That's funny.
Some chicken.
Yeah. I like cooking mine in a pan.
You would.
I do.
It's like, I don't know if that's bad or not.
Yeah, because it makes the skin crispier and it cooks a little bit faster. I basically just like cook it on the one side of the skin down.
Put in your plate?
And well, I'll like almost like how you like sear a steak. I'll go cook it on a little bit of like a higher heat on the skin, and then I'll turn it down and then put a lid on it, so it kind of like it'll cook the bottom, but then it'll steam the rest of the fish.
Right.
And that's usually how I make it.
That's another thing I think I'm getting
Salt and
pretty
pepper
good
and lemon,
at.
pretty much it.
I've been making a lot of steak. Not a lot, but like every once in a while, we'll go to the store, we'll get some ribeyes, and I'll prepare them. And every time my wife has been
You got a cast iron?
No.
You should get a cast iron.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really good for making
I got a
steak.
cast iron. You know what I do with that junk?
Hit somebody with it.
Throw fries in that junk, throw it in the oven, put some cheese and bacon on that junk.
Ooh.
Get it.
Sounds
Homemade cheese fries.
Yep.
We're all hungry now.
Yep.
Straight cheese fries. If I'm feeling myself, I'll put a little bit of coconut oil in that junk.
Does that make it coconut oil? Does that make it take like what is how
Well, it depends on, are you using like the unrefined coconut oil?
Yeah.
Okay.
does that make it like crispier?
It has a lot of flavor in it.
Oh, okay.
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
not like is that like that's not like vegetable oil, is it?
Nah, it's not in like a liquid form.
Unrefined coconut oil is almost like a butter.
Yeah.
But
Like Crisco. Kind of like Crisco.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta scoop it out the jar, put it in the pan, that don't melt. So it's kind of like butter.
yo,
gotta try
I
that.
like making eggs with coconut oil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because then it has the flavor of the coconut in it.
I gotta try
And
that.
it's
I'ma
not
tell
it's
you
not
what.
usually overpowering either. It's just
Nah.
like it adds to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I make rice with the coconut oil.
Okay.
So instead of like putting oil or butter or, whatever, I just put coconut oil.
I gotta try that.
You ever had that
I've never
that like saffron rice? I don't know, like it's yellow.
The little box jump?
No, there might be a brand that comes in a box. The one I always get is like I think the brand is Mahatma, and it's like this like goldish yellow package.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
It's really good. It's got saffron and a few other things in it. I think saffron is like the main spice, but it's like a yellow rice, and I think some brands say like use oil, but I've always used either butter or coconut oil, and making it with coconut oil is so good.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll just make that
And
as a
just
meal.
eat that junk.
And yeah,
Straight
with
right.
nothing else, just that.
Feel you.
I might make that when I go home, actually.
Yeah, we're hungry.
That means it's time to end.
All right, yo.
Night night.
Thanks for listening if you still did. This one was not as interesting as the Soup podcast.